Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different in the sense that I'll be walking around and picking only a few palm trees and talking about them, telling you where you might use it. Whoa, such a busy road. So I'll be sharing with you a few palm trees, talk about where you might use them in your landscapes, what to do and how to take care of them. So it's just going to be a random walk, and if you're new to this vlog, if you're checking us out for the first time, be sure to hit the notification bell, hit the like button, share and subscribe. Don't forget to drop a comment on the comment section down below. Let us know what you'd love us to talk about and what you'd like us to look at next time. So what we have here is a classic example of a Phoenix dactylifera, commonly known as the date palm. These are flowering palm species, commonly cultivated for its edible fruits and for ornamental purposes. So there is a different there are many varieties. There's the one with the smooth. Have a look at that. Seem to be there's a water shortage around. That explains why guys are walking around with those jerry cans. So this is a dactylifera Phoenix, or commonly known as the Phoenix date palm or the date palm. There is a Phoenix canariensis, native to Canary Islands, and the Phoenix robellini. With a Phoenix dactylifera like this one, you have these boot stumps right here. These are the boot stumps. Although this is not properly trimmed, with a good chainsaw you should be able to like prune this off and make it shorter. So this is commonly cultivated for its edible fruits and for ornamental purposes. Phoenix dactylifera, or commonly known as the date palm. That magnificent. Yeah. So moving on, let's see what we have around. So what's going on? There are guys keeping cows around. Hizo ni ng'ombe? Yeah. Ni ng'ombe? Yeah. Oh, asante. So I'm asking if these are for cows. They are behind these walls. Most of the property owners keep cows for milk. So the milk is sold around for at least 60 shillings. 60 shillings a liter. Kenyan shillings, that is 0.5 USD. What do we have here? How do you call this? Where are you from? Oh. Back here in Kenya we call this, colloquially called or sold as an Andy flame. Look at the flowers. This, some of you probably know it as an African, this is called an African tulip tree. I don't know how you call it where you're from, but be sure to drop a comment. Let us know how you call this. The royal palm is native to the Caribbean, Florida. It's native to Florida and the Caribbean. So there's two varieties, there's two species of royal palms. This, what you can see over here, this right here is the royal palm native to Florida. The difference is the royal palm that is native to Cuba has a bulge right at the center of the trunk, towards the top of the trunk, somewhere over here. That's the difference. That's how you can know the difference between the royal palm native to Florida and the royal palm native to Cuba. So another one growing down somewhere right over here, that too is a royal palm. A royal palm is the royal palm is the most commonly used palm for landscaping, for its appealing look and its stately. Look at that, look at the trunk. It has a clear whitish trunk. The fronts are quite similar to those of a queen palm, in the sense that they radiate in all directions. So a royal palm, palms, many people say palms are as good as they last, in the sense that they'll soon grow out of they'll grow so tall and they'll leave you with a trunk, and all that fronts will be up there. So if you know how to work with royal palms, you'll use it as a, you'll find some accent plants like the pygmy date palms to complement how it looks. So with the royal palms, it's commonly used because of its stately look. It's very regal, as you can see. This angle, I'm not really giving you a very good footage because the sun is too much out. I'll try and give you another angle where you'll have a clear footage. So it's similar to the queen palm in the sense that the fronts will radiate to all directions. One disadvantage with the royal palm is that as it grows, it will drop down most of its seeds, and you'll have baby royals germinating in your yard in a matter of years. So another disadvantage about the royal is that it has, look at this one. Look at that massive front. The fronts are very massive and heavy. They are self-cleaning. Self-cleaning technically means that once, let's see, you see this front over here, it will once it grows, it will turn into a yellowish brownish color. Once it's done feeding nutrients to the plants, it will just kind of wilt off and fall down. Heavy as it is, it might cause damages and injury. So to mitigate all this, you need to have a massive fire pit, maybe, and a machete. Hack it into some small chunks and set it on fire. So royal palm, the most commonly used ornamental plant or royal or palm, for its stately and regal look. It is my favorite palm to date. Moving on, let's see if we can find another palm. So today's a weekend. There is not many people going to work. That explains why the estate is so quiet. That is our royal palm. Very lovely views. Very lovely views. So the main point of this vlog is to help those of you who are into ornamental plants and landscaping know the difference between these palms and where to use them, how to take care of them, care tips. One thing I will tell you again is that I must profess that I am not an expert in palms. I, just like some of you watching this vlog, I make use of plant cyclopedia to help identify some of these plants. They are pictorial, so you can easily take a picture to compare with what's on the cyclopedias and get a sense of the plant you are trying to capture. So if you know more about these plants than I do, be sure to leave a comment down in the comment section. You can correct my pronunciation, you can correct my You can correct my pronunciation and just about anything that I've said wrong about these palms. So this vlog will help us learn more about ornamental plants, landscaping, and etc. as we move on. So moving on, what we have here, I don't know if you can quite clearly see the fronts. What we have there is an Adonidia merillii. That is a Christmas palm. Christmas palm is the most, they're better off potted in triples, planted in triples, quadruples, or double, because it's quite a small plant. It does not really grow, that tall like the royals and the foxtail. So as an ascent plant, you need to plant it in triples or quadruples. Another thing with the Christmas palm is that it will not, if you're looking for an alternative to the royal or the foxtail, this is the best to go to palm tree. So in if you while planting them in the advantage with this tree is that it does not, if you plant them in triples, or let's just say you plant more than one plant in one hole or pot, potting them together does not, there won't be infection. There are other palm trees and other ornamental plants that if you put them together, they can infect each other. If one had a disease, that might not sit in well with the other, and you might lose all your plants. So that's another advantage with that type of palm. See how that looks like? Amazing. It is widely used ornamental, this one over here. It is a widely used ornamental plant in landscaping. It is a smaller alternative of the royal palm or the foxtail. A Christmas palm can be used as an asset plant. If you have the tall royals, you can see how it grows. You can place it next to the royal as an asset plant. It does not grow too tall. The Christmas palm and the foxtail. So what do we have here? Look at the trunk. This is a fan palm. This is a classic example of a Fiji fan palm. This palm is native to Fiji, as the name suggests. The fan palm, this palm, you can tell by the fronts. They have those, I don't want to get into the garden, they have those spiky fellas on the fronts. A Fiji fan palm is a slow grower, also commonly used ornamental. It is not invasive and easy to take care of. As you can see, it is not self-cleaning. I forgot to mention, if you're using the Christmas palm, this one with the fronts leading over the perimeter wall over there, the Christmas palm, just like the royal palm, is self-cleaning. The fronts will just drop off. That is the Christmas palm and the foxtail and the royal. What do we have here? Moving on, this is another small, this right here is another small fun palm. This still young, but it is still a Fiji fun palm, used for ornamental purposes. That right there, Fiji fun palm. Moving on, another beautiful palm tree over here. So what we have here, this is a fishtail palm. That's how it's commonly known, or its scientific name, the Caryota mitis. Caryota is Greek, meaning date or palm, or date or nuts. That is in reference to the fruits that it does produce. Mitis in reference to the gentle nature, or unarmed. That is also Greek, mitis, unarmed or the gentle nature, in reference to the unarmed nature of the palm tree, in the sense that it does not produce spiky fronds like the phoenix palm, which does produce edible fruits too. You want to grow it as an understory. It does not grow understory plant. It does not grow too tall. It maxes out to about 20 feet or thereabouts. The fishtail palm does not need too much direct sunlight. You can also plant it next to towering trees like the royals and other native trees common here in Kenya. So this is also known as the clustering fishtail, clumping fishtail. The fishtail palm, or the Caryota mitis, it is native to India, China. It grows in the tropics, and it needs a good amount of rain or water. The Caryota mitis for you, a very beautiful piece of palm. It is also a self-cleaning palm, in the sense that look at that frond. There is already a frond here. There is this frond already hanging. What you have to do is just once it dries out, you just have to pull it off, and you're left with a clean trunk. Look at that, magnificent. An amazing ornamental, not my favorite, though it's a stunner for plant lovers, palm trees to be specific. You'd want to try this out. It produces fruits, and often will after seeding it will drop those seeds, and you'll have your baby fishtails. You need to have one of these. It brings out that tropical vibe. Not tropical Hawaii, tropical Bali. Yeah, Bali, Indonesia, that is. So it's, as I've said before, it's native to the tropics. That is China, India, down to Australia, and maybe parts of New Zealand. What do we have here? So what we have here is let me sit down under this shade with this Bosco Waggy dog. Hello. Okay. Oh, I didn't quite see. Is that the mom? Look at that. Oh no. There's a mom over there, and there's another one over here. See that? So moving on, what do we have here? What we have here is two or twin Washingtonia robusta. There are different types of Washingtonia palms. This is colloquially known as the Washingtonia robusta. You might confuse this with a Washingtonia filifera, but there are distinctive features that you can use to differentiate the two. One is the splittage between the leaf, the fronts. Okay, feature number one, the Washingtonia robusta is lush green compared to the filifera that has a grayish shade. So, and if your Washingtonia robusta is not well rain fed or in an environment that is suitable for it, it will not be that green or lush as you might want it to be. So the filifera, there's a younger one over there, so I'm going to explain the difference. I can't touch the leaf on this taller one, so over here I'm going to show you the difference, what I'm talking about. So you see the splitting of the leaf in between. Let's say this over here, when it splits, it has the robusta is split at least 40 to 50% downwards. It does not extend further down. With the filifera, the split is more extensive than this. So all these are the dried out. It has not been trimmed, so those are dry fronts falling off. This requires a lot of maintenance as it is not self-cleaning. You need to trim it with a good chain so you can have yourself a really magnificent plant or ornamental. I'm capturing, I don't know if you are getting a good footage. Let me pan around from where the sun is behind me so that I can give you a better angle of this. So this, as you can see, the fronts also heavy. When working with palm trees like royals and these Washingtonias, you need to like dig a very big fire pit to lower those dogs. They're like, who the hell is this? But I'm not posing a threat. These are local friendly dogs. So you need to like dig a massive fire pit. Just use a machete to hack these fronts drying down over here, hack them down and into smaller manageable pieces and set them ablaze. This right here is another, you can see over here, there's another fallen trunk, probably another Washingtonia. You see they tried setting it on fire but nothing. So you need to have a fire pit. Look at that. That is a Washingtonia robusta. So when checking out, trying to identify between a filifera and a Washingtonia robusta, there are distinctive features that you need to look out for. Number one is the splittage between the leaves. So in a Washingtonia robusta, the splittage is not that more pronounced. The splittage is not that more pronounced like in the filifera, in the sense that it runs to approximately 40 to 50% of the fronts. Another striking feature is this fibrous hairy stuff. So there is a lot of it on the robusta. Another striking, let's move on to some more technical differences. See this. when these petioles, see the coloration as they move, let me use this, as they move to the center of the fronds, right, coming up through, and it gets here, kind of there's this merging. The longer this is, let me show you, the longer this V is, that is a filifera. The shorter it is, you are working with a robusta. So be keen to note the differences. If we are looking to differentiate between a filifera and a Washingtonia robusta, different plants will carry on similar characteristics to some extent, depending on their size. But what is striking between the filifera and the robusta is this: as the petioles graduate, ascend to the center of the fronds, it will create a V, some sort of angular symmetry over here. The longer this is, be sure you are dealing with the filifera. The shorter that is, you are dealing with the robusta. So this is a Washingtonia robusta. This is a young Washingtonia robusta, similar to what I've pointed over here on the gate. Similar to that over there, Washingtonia robusta. This plant, it also produces some of it produces seedlings. As you can see, these ones drying over here, you'll collect a lot of that. Also, not a self-cleaning, but you need to chop off those fronds as they dry off. But be careful not to chop off the green ones. You need to chop off the dry ones, cut them off into manageable chunks, and light them up in a fire pit. They are heavy, as you can see. This traveler's palm, as it's commonly called, is a good windbreaker and a privacy screen. As you can see, it has been used here. There are two of those. A very beautiful piece of ornamental plant. Oh. I seem to have a company. What's up, Bosco? It's checking me out, so I might have gotten myself into some trouble over there. There's also another one over here, a traveler's palm. Looks like a banana. Cut off one of these fronds. You cut off this. There's a lot of water. It stores a lot of water on its trunk. It's hollow. This right here is another phoenix palm. So over here, I don't know if you can see those. There's a children's home. If we back here, let me talk about this for a moment. If you have clothes and maybe stuff you don't use still in good condition, shoes and you're around Nairobi, you might want to drop them over here. There are children, the children over here, minors that is, that might need them. Over here there are a lot of phoenix palm. See that phoenix palm inside there. So this right here, this right here is a manhole. Why is it black? That's oil. Property owners or homeowners over here, they pour oil on this to ward off idlers or maybe people sitting on them. As you can see, there is that other family there making use of that shade. That underscores the importance of trees in our ecosystem, to create shades for families and people that might wanna have some outdoor activities. So homeowners over here, they pour that oil on these manholes to keep people away from sitting over there. Maybe the reason behind this is they might have some sense of some feeling of insecurity when people are lounging around. So in this compound there's a really decent amount of palm trees. What I can see over here is that help me identify this. This looks like a Mexican fan palm. That is not a robusta. That this is standing tall. This is a Mexican fan palm. What we have here, these are phoenix palm. The ones clumping together, these are phoenix palm. This is a type of belongs to the cactus family, and this too is a phoenix palm. So I can't get in. I hope you see it. I'm giving you a clear footage. So palm trees are quite beauties. They are beauties and make good pieces for your compounds and gardens. If you're looking for a palm tree to bring out the aesthetics of your beautiful home, go for a phoenix palm, the pygmy date palm, that is. You love yourself some beauty to behold. Standing here, I think I'm able to give you a greater view than where I was. If you are in a high wind area, you are better off with the king palm, in the sense that the leaves cannot be split by the wind. The bungalow palm has that problem. The bungalow palm, that is the wind kind of splits the leaves or the fronds, and this bad boy will crown up to a height of at least 40 feet, 25 meters, that is. So if you are in a high wind area, you are better off going with this, the king palm or the Achonto phoenix. So that we have talked about the traveler's palm. And this, moving on, what do we have here? This right here is what we call areca. Okay, let me get the sun behind me. So this right here is the areca, or the golden palm, or the cane palm. Golden palm or the areca palm. So am I naming it correctly? Is this the cane palm or the areca? So if it's the areca, it has that yellowish golden color. I don't know if you can see it. Let me turn around. See how it looks like. So it has this beautiful yellow golden colors. Quite a common piece of ornamental plant. You don't want to grow it where there's a lot of water. They don't like to get their feet wet. So if you have these if you're planning to grow this areca, you might want to grow it where there's the soil has some well-drained soil, and you will have yourself some beautiful ornamental piece. They don't love direct sunlight. They like to be shaded. As you can see over there, there's a ashoka plant providing some good shade for it. It does not thrive where no waterlogging. Don't waterlog it. Place it in a swamp or something. Remember? Yeah. Yeah? I'm doing the plants. Is it wrong? Yeah, no, the house. Okay. So also this is a king palm. Look at the fruits. Very amazing, beautiful king palms. So there's that beautiful lady over there. The security guard was asking me what I'm doing. I told her I'm only taking pictures of the plants, ornamental plants, that is. So I'm walking on a public road. Somebody just stopped me asking me why I'm taking pictures of whatever I'm doing. So I kind of told them I'm only taking pictures of the tree. Besides, I'm on a public road space, so I'm not in their private property. They kind of wanted to create a fuss out of the whole issue, but seeing that I know pretty much about my rights, they kind of backed off. So moving on, what do we have here? There's a pretty nice collection of traveler's palm. Behind there, let me zoom. This right here, if you can see it well, that is what we call a pinanga palm. Quite a marvelous piece, a very beautiful piece of ornamental palm. I can't quite place the scientific name, so it's commonly known as a pinanga. So look at that, look at how it looks like. Very beautiful piece of palm. That a pinanga palm. And also standing tall is a cane palm. This right here is a cane palm. After the cane palm, right, let me show you something. This right here, I don't know if you can see it. Let me zoom in. This behind the cane palm is what we know as, you see this right here behind that is what you know as a triangle fan palm, commonly known as a triangle palm. A triangle palm is an ornamental palm native to Madagascar. I hope I got it right. So a triangle palm radiates in 3 directions, like a triangle, just like the name suggests. It has that grayish tone color on its trunk. So you can't quite see it from this side, but there's this face pointing, this face looking at us. That's one side. The other plane sits on the other side, checking out the roof, and the other one just right behind the other side. So there's quite a bunch of palms over here, and some that I don't know, So as I told you before, I'm not quite an expert on this. I'm also learning. I'm using this as a database to store all this information. For those of you who might be professionals on this type of thing, be sure to leave a comment correcting my pronunciation, scientific names, and any other information I might have passed on that is not accurate. So moving on, this is what we know as a Ravenala madagascaris. This is a traveler's palm native to Madagascar too. Quite an ornamental piece, marvelous. What do we have next here? So let's talk about this for a moment. This right here, Roystonea regia, we have talked about that. Look at that, how it is. Beautiful piece of ornamental plant, Roystonea regia, native to Florida because it does not have a bulge in the middle of the trunk. Look at the trunk, how it swells. That is the main structural difference between a king palm and a Roystonea is that the color that the width, the size of the trunk. The Roystonea has a very big trunk, dissimilar to the king palm, which has a more slender trunk, and with the royal palm, it radiates its fronts to all directions. The king palm radiates the fronts to only one direction, and to the center right here we have a phoenix. Right here I think we have a phoenix. There's that creeper plant blocking the trunk, but right here I think we have a pygmy date palm, Phoenix robellini. So a lot of people around moving around with their cars here, asking, they're stopping around asking me. They're curious, rather curious, not asking, they're curious, stopping their cars. How are you? Like, not posing a question, but they're like, that look that seems to ask the question, what are you doing? So whatever I'm doing is not common to these places. So because I'm hoisting my camera, it might appear like something I'm doing something illegal or spying on their properties. So you can see that's a royal palm, a phoenix, and a ken palm standing majestically over there. Sayagras romanzophiana, botanical name, colloquially known as the cocos palm, Jeriva, or as many of you will commonly know it as the queen palm, introduced throughout most parts of the world as a popular ornamental plant. So if you want to have this plant looking beautiful, you have to cut off, chop away the dried fronds. As it matures, the seeds kind of, they grow in a cluster, very heavy cluster of at least 100 pounds. So that's the major con about this queen palm. Quite a beauty. In some parts of the world, this ornamental palm species is used as food. Some use it for construction, as structural reinforcement like bamboo, because it has a hollow trunk. This is quite a beauty. It has some silverish, see, I don't, if you can see that, it has some silverish element occurring on its trunk and fronts as it grows. So to maintain this palm species, the trunk, it's dissimilar to the king palm. The trunk has to be, it has an appealing look. So to keep it appealing, you need to keep on trimming. But quite a beauty. If you want to grow this, it can withstand a lot of adverse heat, but after it has matured, while it's young, it cannot withstand that much heat. Also loves to get the feet wet, loves a lot of water. So you are better off, if you want to achieve good results, you're better off watering this plant frequently. Coco palm, Jevis, queen palm for you. A beautiful ornamental piece. check out the picture of a matured one, so you can have a rough idea of how it looks like. This most landscapers will spec it as a single solitary palm, grown as a single solitary palm. You cannot, it's not advisable to keep it as triples, quadruples, or doubles. So it is quite a beauty, a cocos palm, queen palm for you. The Florida cherry palm, or the buccaneer palm. The botanical name, it goes by the botanical name Pseudophoenix sargenti. Quite an ornamental piece. Occurs naturally in coastal regions, on sandy soil, well aerated, or on limestone. Used widely as a specimen plant, an ornamental piece that's attractive due to its bark that gives it an elegant tropical look. Let's have a look at how it's. So the bark of this plant gives it an edge over other ornamental palms, so that is why it's widely used. It's elegant, and the bark is quite distinctive on the trunk. So it occurs naturally in sandy areas or limestone places with limestone. An ornamental piece that is well suited for coastal sheltered areas. Considered endangered, and appears also there are countable populations in Florida, as most of this palm tree were uprooted and sold out as ornamental pieces in nurseries. So where can you find these? In native nurseries, and maybe plant enthusiasts that keep them around in gardens. So not commonly found in the world. Pseudophoenix sargenti, Florida cherry palm, or buccaneer palm. Quite an ornamental piece that is. Old trunk base gives it an elegant tropical feel. So with its high resistance to salt and wind, it is perfectly suited for sheltered coastal settings. Quite an ornamental piece. Nice look with droopy, almost upright pinnate leaves. Pseudophoenix sargenti, buccaneer palm, or Florida cherry palm. Well, that's it for now. At One Views One, don't forget to show your appreciation and support by hitting the notification bell, like, share, and subscribe. Also, your comments are highly welcome down below in the comment section. Be sure to let us know what you'd love us to show you next time. Until next video, One Views over and out. Adios.